You are listening to the SRA Chart Show with the Cat Radio, and here with us from the 1975, Matthew Healy. How are you doing today?
Hello, good, thank you.
Good. And you are back in Manchester performing at the moment. How does it feel to be back where it all started?
It's incredibly full circle, yeah, it's amazing. It's, it's hometown show, so it's where all your friends come out, and it kind of goes back to, it kind of feels a bit like it was back in the day when we used to play, albeit much smaller shows, still shows to the same kind of people. So, yeah, it's really, it's quite emotional a lot of the time.
And when you're not gigging and doing promo, what do you do?
Not that much. I mean, it's Manchester, so what we used to do in Manchester was just DOS, really, at our mates' houses. And that's what we've been doing this whole week. It's been nice. Our mates still live in the same kind of places, so we've just been hanging out.
That's good.
Yeah, exactly.
Does it change a little bit because you're hanging out with your mates and stuff? Have you since sort of becoming famous? Do people still treat the same, or is it still like?
Well, yeah,
oh my God?
I mean, I'm not really like I explained a little. I'm not really like famous. Like if you know my band, then you know me. But if you don't know my band, then I'm not a very interesting character. I'm not like in magazines, or I'm not like that kind. I don't know. I'm just not really out and about. So for my mates, it's more for me and my mates. It's more of a vehicle for social observation and thinking how funny or weird it is, or do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not that they wind me up for it, because they actually, it's quite nice. My friends are all really, really proud. I think that a lot of friendship groups think a bit like, oh well, they don't get it as much. But a lot of my mates work for the band. So,
yeah,
that's good.
And you said before that you used to play quite smaller gigs. You kind of still kind of like to keep it a bit more intimate. You didn't play the Manchester Arena, you played smaller gigs around there. Do you think that things like Snapchat and technology and stuff interfere with that kind of intimate feel?
I think that the intimacy that used to exist, well, I think that the internet's changed everything. Yeah, totally. It's changed how the relationship between, I don't know what words you want to use, but the pop star and fans, the rock star and fans dynamic. It used to be a lot more removed, but now a lot of the mystique of being like a rock star or pop star is gone, because you have the apparatus to immediately communicate with that person or share an idea about, or do you know what I mean? Everything's kind of subject to people's opinion as opposed to being preserved. But yeah, I think that for shows, I think that, we've just got to go with the times. We always have a moment where I say, listen, put your phones down. Let's just have one song where you put your phones down. But people are always going to want to document things, do you know what I mean? People are always going to want to show off that, because that's what the internet is, isn't it? It's just showing off.
Yeah.
And on more of a musical side of things, I've had your album on non-stop for the past few weeks.
Oh, great.
And I noticed there's a lot of musical influences from all over the place. You can hear it in the album. And have you ever thought of using your sort of musical knowledge and interest to maybe even like start a record label?
Yeah, I've thought about doing lots of stuff. There's, I'm very, very fortunate with the record label that I'm with, because it was set up kind of for our band by my best mate and manager, Jamie. So I have a big hand in that label. Like I signed there's an artist called The Japanese House, and I discovered her and I signed her and helped produce a record with her.
Is that your support act on the tour?
Yeah, she's opening up for us. Yeah. And she's a genius in her own right. We've just kind of helped to get to where she is. So I do have a creative hand in things that I like, and I think that there's other projects that we're going to be working on that I think could utilise our kind of eclecticism. Is that a word?
It sounds right. So.
Eclecticism, yeah.
And who would you be your ideal signing?
Oh, I don't know. Show me them. That would be great. You know what I mean? I'd love to find out. No, I'd love to. Oh, you've got me thinking now. I never think like that. I always want something to slap me in the face, but maybe I'll go in search of something particular.
If you could work with any other artist to create an album or a single, who would it be? Living or dead, it doesn't matter.
I always, we always wanted to work with Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson's our hero, always has been. And there's artists like Brian Eno and kind of legends that we'd love to work with. But to be honest with you, there's a lot of up-and-coming artists that we know through other people and people that we work with that we might actually be collaborating with. Like a lot of hip-hop artists and stuff like that. We've been lucky to work with people like Travis Scott before.
Yeah.
I'd like to make a record with Kanye.
Wow, that would be
something.
That would really be something.
Yeah.
And if you weren't doing music right now, what would you be doing, do you think?
Like probably selling flowers on a roundabout, or like coming up and cleaning your windscreen when you're in a traffic jam.
One final question: if you were to make a tribute band for any other musical artist, which band would it be and why?
Oh God, what a great question! What band would I like to take on and pretend to be?
Yeah.
It would be someone like Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah.
Somebody incredibly fun.
I thought you were gonna
like
say
the most fun band. But the band with the most fun music to play in the world is Rage Against the Machine. Just playing those riffs, so probably that.
I thought you were going to go with Take That or something like that.
That would be actually probably more appropriate.
Matt Healy from the 1975, thank you very much for joining us here on the SRA Chart Show.
Thanks so much, cheers.